to an AFC North matchup of some interest in this podcast. The Steelers won their bye week. Yay!
I'll take it.
Just kidding. Maybe the biggest win for Breech, non-tattoo Ryan Finley game in the history of this podcast. The Bengals.
Is that true?
Since I've been on the podcast. Easy.
Well, yeah. It definitely wasn't a playoff game.
Up high, down hard.
Get your dunks in now.
The Bengals destroyed the Ravens. I mean, destroyed them. 41-17. I had the Chiefs and the Titans as Chiefs and the Ravens as best bets. Just stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are currently the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Number 1 seed. I literally should leave my chair here now for the next 10 minutes.
Number 1.
But Breech, let me ask you this, because I want to hear you talk about the game because it was an absolute whooping. But it hasn't been that long. What, 5 years ago? When's the last time they won the division?
2015?
Yeah. Andy Dalton broke his thumb in the end of the season.
That's
6 years.
That's the length of my son's life. So I don't know, it feels kind of long. I watched Andy Dalton lose to Phillip Rivers in the playoffs while holding my newborn son, as I'd like to mention. Couple of notes on this game really quickly. The last time the Bengals finished the season as the number 1 seed in the AFC was 1988.
No,
they went to the Super Bowl. Your dad was on that team, right?
Had to be.
He was on that team.
Yes. The 24-point win is the Bengals' largest ever win in the franchise history over the Ravens. Joe Burrow is one of 5 quarterbacks to throw for 400 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns against the Ravens all time. These 5 quarterbacks are Joe Burrow in 2021, Tom Brady in 2016, Eli Manning in 2016, Drew Brees in 2014, and Peyton Manning in 2013. That is 4 other will-be Hall of Famers at some point once they retire.
All Super Bowl winners.
And all Super Bowl winners.
And you buried the lead there. He is the only one who did it in Baltimore.
That is correct. The most passing touchdowns through 7 games in Bengals history, Joe Burrow has tied your boy Boomer from 1988 again with his 17 passing touchdowns in 2021 and the most receiving yards.
Fun fact there, Boomer Esiason won MVP in 1988.
I don't think MVP was around, but okay.
MVP.
I'm just kidding. MVP. The most receiving yards in the first 7 career games in NFL history for a rookie wide receiver. Jamar Chase is 133 yards above Anquan Bolden at number 2. He has 754. The days of him he's on pace for 1,831 yards, which would be the 5th most in the NFL in a single season. Look, the idea that Jamar Chase was not a good pick was misguided. Jamar Chase is an awesome pick. And I'm pretty sure that whoever was calling the game or somebody suggested that he's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL right now. Anyway, I got the facts out of the way. Breech. Do your thing when the Bengals win.
First of all, if I'm sweaty, it's because I've been taking victory laps, 41 of them to be exact, for the last 3 hours. We got 2 clowns here who've been hating on the Bengals, although Wilson's turning around and he's about to join the dark side over here with me. For so long, no, Brinson, I'm not letting you on the bandwagon just yet. You cannot be on the Bengals bandwagon.
Another tough year for Brinson.
You know what, though? Here's the crazy thing about this game is that at no point did I feel comfortable until the Bengals went up 34-17, which happened in the 4th quarter. So, and for me, this is played out kind of exactly like the first half was just a crazy game. I think the Bengals were up 13-10 at halftime. And the biggest play in this game, the Bengals were up 20-17 in the 3rd quarter. They were facing a 3rd and 2 from their own 18-yard line. If they get stopped, Ravens probably get good field position there. But instead, they don't get stopped because Jamar Chase, 82 yards of the house for a touchdown on a throw that went about 11 yards downfield.
Crazy spin out of 2 defenders, and he dusted those guys. Like, his acceleration is underrated.
Oh, you're not catching him. He ran a 4.3. That was a wrap. I don't care who's running.
He's physical enough. He's got breakaway speed, and he's a complete receiver.
Yeah, he could very easily be a top 3. I don't think that's insane. Whoever said it, it's. I mean, Nate, who else you want?
Well, and it's not often you have a rookie come in and just have this perfect connection with his quarterback. And it's, we've seen rookies come from go to the same college as their quarterback. This year, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, both went to college with their quarterback, but they don't have
Mason
the connection.
Rudolph and James Washington went to Oklahoma State.
Mason Rudolph and James, but these guys don't have the same connection that Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow had. I mean, Jamar Chase put up 201 yards today, 9th highest total in franchise history for the Bengals. And so,
and it wasn't against the Jaguars. It was against Marlon Humphrey and the Ravens.
Exactly. And that's the big difference here is can the Bengals finally take that big step? Are they going to fall flat on their face? Like, yay, they beat the Lions 34-11. Yay, they got a moral victory against the Packers because they lost in overtime. And so it was they got over one hump earlier this season when they beat the Steelers 24-10. They went into Pittsburgh, which they rarely do, and won by double digits, which they almost never do in Pittsburgh. And then now you come back and you do the same thing to Baltimore. I mean, they manhandled them. So this to me was just as impressive as Tennessee's win over Kansas City, if not even more impressive. The Ravens,
way more impressive.
It's more. And also, I mean, you're talking up the offense and for good reason, but that defense is good. They're young, they're fast, they're physical, they get after it. They're not going to get outrun to the sidelines. They're just making play after play.
You can't run on them.
There's a lot of, exactly. I mean, Lamar Jackson led the Ravens with 88 rushing yards, but they weren't the type of runs you see from Lamar Jackson where you know that he's going to take one to the house.
Yeah, so, it was almost like the Bengals wanted Lamar to do that because it was, you know what, we're going to take the run away from you and you can try and beat us with your arm. And they were getting so much pressure on him that he would have to take off. And they were fine because he wasn't breaking off for 45-yard runs. They were 8 to 10-yard chunks each time. Obviously, if he does that every play, they'll go straight downfield. But he wasn't because he was also taking big hits. He got sacked 5 times. I mean, Lamar got more beat up in this game than he does in a normal game. And you could see as the game went on, it kind of impacted, what the Ravens were able to do on offense. And his throws were off, and everything was thrown off. Because of what the Bengals defense was doing against Lamar. So my goodness, this team is first place in the AFC. I did not think that would happen by week 7. Not even in my wildest dreams did I think.
Do you feel better about the 2015 team 12 weeks into the season, or do you feel better about this team 7 weeks into the season?
I feel much better about this team. This feels like in 2015, look, they looked good in 2015, but I never thought that they didn't feel like they were the Patriots or the Broncos. Like I never felt like they were in the top tier of the AFC, even though, they had one of the best records in the conference. It just didn't feel like they'd be able to go into Denver or New England. I feel like this team can beat any other team in the AFC. That doesn't mean they will. It doesn't mean they're going to end this 31-year. Brinson's making the smirk. They already beat the Ravens, who were the best team in the AFC.
You don't know what I'm smirking about.
You're smirking.
I'm smirking because I'm imagining this scenario where
they lose in the first round of the playoffs to Jacksonville.
Where you just cast aside your longtime a guy, Andy Dalton, and you just throw him.
Oh, I was thinking about that too. Yeah, you threw him overboard.
Like you're just we're like, hey, Breech, actually Andy Dalton's going to be doing a charity autograph thing in Nashville. Do you want to go? And you're like, nah, I'm watching Joe Burrow, please.
You throw him out of a plane.
I've had 2 years to get over Andy Dalton, guys. If you can't get over a breakup in 2 years, you have problems. I had to talk to a therapist. I went through a lot. I'm over it. Don't bring his name back up.
By the way, that 2015 Bengals team 12-4, and I agree with you because the Broncos won the Super Bowl that year. They were 12-4, had an incredible defense. The Steelers were 10-6 and good that year. The Pats 12-4. Tom Brady. It didn't. I don't know that they're. The fact that Tom Brady, the fact that the Chiefs are struggling, and again, long season, lot to go, but the fact that the Chiefs are struggling and Tom Brady's in the NFC, the AFC, I mean, if it just changes your mindset as an AFC team, you feel like why not us if you're the Bengals? Somebody pointed out in the YouTube chat comments, again, hit the like button on YouTube, get to 125. We'll give
Sean McVay coaching tree on fire this year.
No, not that. Somebody said that you could. Like McVay Burrow is a generational talent. And I agree wholeheartedly. I think Joe Burrow is one of those guys you look and watch him, and this is why he's the number 1 pick. He's got it. Like I know he missed a lot of last season, and we're only 7 weeks in to this year, so we have minimal games for Joe Burrow. But I feel comfortable, and I'd be curious your thoughts too, Ryan. But like, I feel comfortable thinking Joe Burrow is a franchise quarterback.
I said it in 2020 before the draft, I would take Joe Burrow over Trevor Lawrence. And Prisco would take Trevor Lawrence. I think Brady at the time said they would take Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sure where they are now. And I feel fine with that. I mean, yeah, he came out of nowhere. He transferred to Ohio State. Yeah, he's not the most athletic guy. But I think above the neck, he's as good as anyone.
He has guts.
He's gritty. He's what do you say about underrated white quarterback athletes? What do you call them?
Sneaky athletic.
Sneaky athletic. He's sneaky athletic. He doesn't have a great arm, but who cares? He can make the throws you need him to make. And Jamar Chase and T. Higgins had a good game as well. Tyler Boyd, Uzama. How do you say his name, Breech? Uzama. Yeah, I mean, he's in the final year of his deal. I wonder if they're going to bring him back. I mean, that guy's playing like he's Gronkowski or Tyler Eifert in his prime. So he makes everyone around him better.
I didn't have this game on, so I'll have to go back and watch it. But I'm curious, how did Jonah Williams play at left tackle relative? Because he's actually been having Jonah Williams and Jamar Chase have justified. Not Jamar Chase has done it by himself, but like those two guys have justified, at least I didn't watch Williams very closely today, but those two guys have justified the move to draft Jamar Chase because the Bengals thought process was we don't want to draft Penei Sewell and put him at right tackle or put him at guard because Riley Reif is over there. We believe in Jonah Williams and we think Jamar Chase is special and it has a connection with Joe Burrow. So we're going to go that direction. And right now, if you had the take that they should draft Penei Sewell, you were wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And they took Jackson Carman. Jackson Carman played some today.
Yeah.
I don't think
I don't know if you also, how was Jonah Williams okay? Joe Burrow was pressured a lot, I think, right?
Well, I mean, the Ravens were bringing pressure, and the Bengals seemed like they were expecting it. And Joe Burrow only got sacked once, so I think it's hard to look at it in context of if he got pressured. I thought the Bengals offensive line played pretty well today, considering what the Ravens were trying to do. The fact that Burrow only got sacked once almost seemed like a miracle. They were just getting off passes so quick. It was like the Bengals were like, you guys are playing right into our game plan. That's what we thought you were going to do, and you're doing it, and now we're burning you on it. And that's really what it felt like. So the Bengals' overall offensive game plan was brilliant. And the other part of this is Burrow got sacked 5 times in week 1, 5 times in week 2. And now we get to week 7. He's only sacked once by a really good defense.
Apparently, Jonah Williams is getting beat like a GD drum by Justin Houston in this game. All right.
That's a tweet from Jake Liskow. I'm not sure if he covers the Bengals or the Ravens, but he was not happy with Jonah's performance. I didn't see it, and Breech seems like he was okay with it.
No, I was okay with the overall play with the offense line. That's what I said.
And I mean, again, like the score was 41-17. So like I wasn't, in this game sort of, you're watching it, and then all of a sudden the Bengals. By the way, this slate as a whole, this NFL Week 7, sucked.
I thought it was pretty fun.
I thought it was amazing.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you did, Breech, because your team won 41-17. I just don't. I didn't think that there was.
What do you have? What do you have against the Falcons Dolphins?
Yeah, I mean, I had the Falcons. I had the Falcons covering.
If that was the best game of the day, then
no, there's a lot of. I enjoyed this week.
There was. What? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I like blowouts though because I like points, and then there's some close games. There were 2 games. There were 3 games. No, 2 games. Not counting Thursday night. There were 2 games today, or 3 games within 10 points. Like, that's not great. Yeah, but the football team should have been closer. They kept turning the ball over in the red zone. I just didn't think there was a lot. Anyway, I didn't think this is a significantly dramatic day. However,